Hello and welcome to Notes from the Den, coming to you from a secret location in the South Downs. It started off pretty rainy this morning, an absolute storm howling past the horse box, which was shaking it all over the place. But the sun has come out now and it's looking absolutely glorious. I hope it's nice weather where you are and you're able to get outside today. This week, what have I been working on? So this week I have sent the book off to print. The proof copy came through and it was all good. I had to make one slight change to the cover file because the words on the spine weren't quite in the middle. But that is now fixed, so that's gone off to the printers and they'll be with me in about 10 days to 2 weeks. So if you have pre-ordered a new revised edition of the book, they'll be coming to you soon. If you would like to get a new copy of the book, then you can do so on my website, reframingmarketing.com. That's enough for a shameless plug, isn't it? I'll try and get one in every episode, and that's that. There you go. Safe now. What else have I been doing? I have been recording lots of videos this week. So I recorded 6 videos back to back in one sitting. And I'm not going to edit them all this week, but it's good to just have them in the bank. So it means if I get to the end of the day or I get to an afternoon and I'm run out of energy for doing something else, I can open up an edit and start working on that content. So I've recorded a couple of blogs that I've got written, one of which is coming out on Monday. So that's my regular content that comes out. But I've also recorded a section of the book, which is the bit that explains how the 3-step marketing plan works. And that video sits on a page on my website. And that is one of my most played YouTube videos, actually, because I think people get to that page and then they see there's a video version and they think, oh, I'll watch that. And people do watch the whole thing. It's got really good stats. So that is one of the concepts that's in the book, is about making a video of your process and explaining how it all works. So I hope that page serves as a bit of a reference for people to show the value in getting clear on how your process works and then articulating it in different ways. So in my case, written, you can also watch it and you can also listen to it. I might put the audio out as a podcast episode, actually, because I think that would be quite good. Yes, I might add that to my list. I've also been playing around with a couple of new editing tools, one of which is okay. It's not brilliant. It's called Firecut and it's an add-on to Premiere. So I talk about using Descript a lot because I do use Descript. I really like the speed at which you can do an edit. And right now I'm recording this straight into Descript and I will then hit stop and I will edit out a couple of pauses, ums and ers before it gets to your ears. But essentially, I don't do too much editing on it. It only takes me maybe 5 minutes to edit the podcast. And then with one click, it goes up to Captivate and then it's on the feed. It really is as simple as that. So I do highly rate Descript. So the thing that some of you might not know about me is I worked as a sound editor for about 8 years in TV, in a post-production house in Soho, in the glory days of terrible reality television. So I edited most of the dross that you all sat through in the early 2000s, basically. That was my job, was making it sound broadcastable. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I got very used to a linear form of editing, and Descript is not that. Descript is editing text, and then the software does the edit. I'm used to seeing waveforms and editing in a very linear fashion. So I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos, and I've been playing around with how that works. Now, the reason I don't talk about that and I talk about Descript is because for 99% of the people listening to this podcast, Premiere Pro is an absolute sledgehammer to crack a walnut. It is broadcast level software for making what is essentially YouTube videos. It's a complete overkill. However, my editing brain quite likes it and I can still navigate around it. So I've been playing around with it just to see what the difference is like. I've been trying out a couple of different camera editing techniques and things like that. Essentially, I'm doing it so you don't have to. I've been trying a little plugin called Firecut, which is quite interesting. It's an AI-powered plugin that goes through and does quite a lot of the editing for you. And it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. And I did wonder whether it would actually replace Descript because it does stuff like finding duplicates, removing pauses. It also does the zooms in and out for you. It does loads of cool stuff that Descript does. So I had wondered whether it would replace it. but it's not quite there. I still have to watch the whole thing through and then edit that edit. So it really doesn't save me much time. So I probably won't be using that anymore. Anyway, that's a bit more of an in-depth insight into my editing world. So the last thing I've been doing this week is I've been talking a lot about making content with various people on various different calls. That's come up a lot. So I've put a little bonus micro guide into my email this week, just explaining what microphone and camera setup I use. So if you'd like to find out about that, do subscribe to the email and you'll get that micro guide. And I will also put a slightly longer version of that on the website, I think, because it is something I get asked quite frequently. It'd be good to have somewhere to point people. So not only is that a shameless plug for the newsletter, which is a second one, naughty me, but it's also a really good example of how making content and coming up with content ideas is quite easy when all you have to do is answer common questions that come up time and time again. Because if people are asking those questions to you, they're obviously interested in it. So that's the kind of content that's going to resonate. So if you are looking for some inspiration this week for your content, why not have a think about the last client conversation you had or the last email you got from a client with a question in it and see whether there's a question that comes up more than once or twice. And then perhaps have a go at recording your answer to it, either as a podcast or a video. And if you're not ready to share that on social, why not send it to a client or a trusted friend or peer and see whether your explanation of that comes across clearly. So that's it for me this week. I hope you have a good week and I'll see you again soon.